that would be working anyway, but unfortunately, we have to make certain that things are where they need to be. So there is going to be some changes every once in a while when it comes to colors and camera operations and stuff like that. It's just what goes on. So changes like that happen. If you've never worked in the TV news business, you'll find that a lot of things can possibly go wrong at precisely the right time. And unfortunately, that is pretty much the overall nature of the business, no less so dealing with the gremlins online. So for right now, I think that things are doing decently well for the time being. Let me make certain we've got. Okay, audio sounds good. Apologies that we have to double check that every single time, but unfortunately, that's pretty much exactly what needs to be done just to make certain that I don't sound up like I'm talking into a coffee can on these microphones. If you're just tuning in and joining us again live on Twitch TV and also on Facebook Live, for those of you who are tuning in for this Monday night, the 13th of November, we've got just over 2 weeks, 2 weeks and change until we hit the end of hurricane season, and that's important because it's still active out there. We'll show you a storm system down toward the Gulf of Mexico. Not everybody can make their way home at this time of the year. Matter of fact, a lot of people are shoving off for replacement duty, a lot of people coming and going. We just went past Veterans Day this last weekend and want to make certain that everybody's watching for the potential of anything going on overseas. You have folks at home, friends, loved ones, family members, anything like that. We've got a segment here called Weather Where the Troops Are. And if you've never seen it, stay tuned. We'll bring you a sampling of that coming up here a little bit later on. And we'll also talk a little bit more about what it looks like in various parts of the world as we head into the holiday season and what we'll be taking a look at. Plus, we're getting into the severe weather season number 2 of this area. It may not sound like much when you see the numbers from the National Weather Service, but it's important to recognize when and where those seasons are. So we'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Thanks for joining us. If you're just tuning in for Weather Overtime for the first time, we talk about weather for the Tennessee River Valley. We talk about climate change. We talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. Thanks to all the new followers on Twitch. Glad to have you along for that. Focusing in a little bit, it's kind of extracurricular, but it's one of our more popular segments. Taking a look at our West Shore home weather window picture of the day. Folks send us in pictures from wherever they happen to be. Doesn't have to be in this area. If you've got web pictures, we'll show you in a second how you can get yours in. This one from News 12 viewer Chris Dean. And if you'd like to be able to see, again, what Chris has been seeing out there, all you have to do is take a look at our website and at our social media pages. This particular view, kind of halfway selfish on my part, because living vicariously through all these pictures, I just moved here not too long ago, so seeing all these beautiful vistas and viewpoints makes me add one more section on the list about where I want to go to so I can see views like this myself. But Taylor's Ridge Overlook, not too sure the exact location of that, but thank you very much, Chris Dean, for sending that one in there. If you've got pictures, please let us know. You could be anonymous if you want to, make up a name if you have to. We've done it before for people who want to be anonymous, but just please give us a description and at least a city-state location. We don't need an exact address, but if you would please at least give us an idea as to where you were and what you were looking at. Pictures at WDEF.com, or drop your picture and your location comments into the comments section of our Facebook, X, and Instagram pages. We'd love to be able to see what you're seeing. A little bit on the windy side tomorrow, so if you're heading out to catch a fish, doesn't look like too much of a problem, but could be a little breezy getting there on the outdoors forecast into tomorrow. Likewise, heading out on the golf course, I would not be surprised to see a slice or a hook going on as we see those winds topping 20 miles per hour, gusts at times. I don't think we're looking at a wind advisory, because then you have to go over about 40 miles per hour, and that's not going to be happening. Unfortunately, the amount of rainfall that we have gotten in the last week or two has not helped us in any way, shape, or form. So the drought situation continues for the entire month. We managed to pick up 0.06 of an inch in the last 13 days, so that's barely 1/100th of an inch per every 2 days so far, and we're now an inch point 75 behind for the month. And this is kind of difficult to look at because it was last week we were about 7 inches behind or so. We're now behind by 8.5 inches of rain. Even if we got over an inch per week throughout the rest of the year, it still wouldn't be enough to match up. We would need some pretty good gully washers coming in here of about 1.5 inches per week to catch us up to this. So it's more than likely possible that we're going to finish up 2023 on a deficit because we are way behind where we should be for this time of the year, and doesn't look like we're going to be catching too much of anything else that's going to help us outside of some scattered showers at best. The good news is down to the Gulf of Mexico, there is a storm system that's kicking up some moisture that might help areas in an exceptional drought, and that's us as well. The U.S. Drought Monitor labeled our part of the News 12 viewing area in an exceptional, that's a 5 out of 5 drought situation, and that's not good for wildfires, for agriculture, for air quality, for a lot of other reasons. And that's what we're looking at least until this Thursday, when the U.S. Drought Monitor reissues a new statement. They do it every Thursday. Data cutoff point is Tuesday, so we'll see what happens with that in the course of the next couple of days. Now, you can clearly see where the rainfall was and where it was not. Over the last few days, not that much in the way of rain north of us. Red is about 18 hours, and yellow and orange is 18 hours plus to about 24 hours plus. And you can see clearly that most of the fires in the last couple of days, from the Missouri River all the way over to the East Coast, but not a great deal. Some, yes, but a lot less than what are usual. And again, some of this is agricultural burn-off, but a couple more fires being reported in Georgia, which picked up the lion's share of fires last week. And this, again, from the Visible Infrared Imaging Radiometer Suite, or the VIIRS system, which you can pick up online to take a look at. So that, again, is what we're looking at for tonight, with the last 48 hours of fire data taking place. Let's see what's going on out there right now on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. From the area around Island Cove Marina and Resort, water is pretty much like a piece of glass. There's hardly any wind out there whatsoever for tonight. Looking back toward the UTC campus, a little bit of a breeze earlier tonight with the American flag up on top of the hall building there, and headquarters of WUTC FM public radio in the Mid-South. Bailey's Heating and Air camera looking over at the area back to the east-southeast from the camera. Lee Point on the Plainview outdoor advertising camera, traffic light and moving along quite nicely around the area of 153 and 64 Highway. Very nice night from the Chattanooga Theater Center. A lot of folks out and about today. Beautiful temperatures, just above normal on the temperatures, so looking good on the Speedy's Total Car Care camera. From the News 12 studios, also in downtown on Broad Street, jammed up earlier today thanks to that church bus that caught on fire. No one was hurt from what I understand, so good news there. Traffic, no construction going on, so traffic on I-24 in both directions moving along quite nicely at this time. And last but not least, that's from the Patriot Concrete camera. And from our Chattanooga Red Wolf Stadium Tomahawk Crane and Rigging camera, very light traffic at this time. Don't forget that if you're heading, again, westbound on 24, that's where we've got major construction going on just past where this camera is located. So Moore and Germantown roads, something to watch out for there. So please keep that in mind if you're going to be doing anything out and about, driving for this evening. That's going to be a bit of a problem. Temperatures have dropped quite nicely past about sunset, going about 20 degrees cooler than what they were earlier today. So back in the 50s right as we hit 10 o'clock Eastern time. And numbers out across the area, again, a little chillier up toward northeast Tennessee, southeast Kentucky, southern Illinois, and Indiana, picking up some lower 40s out there, lower to mid 50s on the southern part of Tennessee, and back up toward Lexington and Kentucky, lower 50s showing up there. All right, so for the next couple of days, Here's what we're expecting. Area of low pressure around the northwestern Gulf of Mexico. This is going to be moving again a little further over toward Florida, and with the air circulating to the counterclockwise as they do around low pressure in the northern hemisphere, this is going to push some moisture up our direction. We also have an area down to our south, and I should have corrected this before going on the air. That's not number 21. That was earlier on. There is a disturbance, but it does not have a designation yet, but it is expected to head out into the Caribbean. We'll talk more about that as well coming up here in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and run the numbers for overnight for you. Again, bus stop time and temperature back in the upper 40s to the lower to mid 50s for low temperatures. Mid to upper 60s tomorrow. Plenty of clouds, but the computer system that runs this model run is showing those clouds looking like they're going to block out some of the sunshine, and so this model is running it a little bit cooler for tomorrow. I'm saying upper 60s with plenty of sunshine mixed in with that. The chances of rain best as we go into Wednesday morning, and even then we're not looking at a great deal, and then some spotty showers possible as the kids head home Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures a little cooler, again, depending on how far south that dry, clear air gets. We'll see what the temperatures wind up with there. Back in the mid-50s for lows on Thursday morning, and then getting into Thursday afternoon, should be back to a decent amount of sunshine, a few clouds, and then temperatures back into the lower 70s once again. Normal for this time of the year, again, is about, say, 65 degrees, give or take, somewhere in there. We're going to be kind of going back and forth on that note in the next few days. So not an Arctic blast in sight, no really warm air in sight. So for now, if everything works, we should be hitting a little bit on the warmer side than normal, but really not that much. So I don't see any major amounts of impacts from these systems passing on down to our south. Some rain, yes, but really just not looking at really all that much going on out there. All right, for the 7-day forecast, this is what we're looking at for right now. And looking at my lovely and talented wife, Melissa. Well, you married me, so you should definitely know the answer to that question on there. Thank you very much, Melissa, for stopping by. Being my fashion consultant, you should know better about how I do things, so thank you very much on that. Love you very much, and thanks for stopping by. I figured you would have been asleep by now. Anyway, for the next couple of days, and go Vols, have to throw that in there too as a Jayhawk fan. Breezy conditions across portions of the area tomorrow. Again, not really seeing too much in the way of major wind speeds, but could be a little choppy out across the area. Then temperatures just kind of wobble back and forth around the mid-60s, and that's exactly where we should be for this time of the year. A little cooler towards Sunday morning next, back in the lower 40s, but this really does not seem to be too much of a major concern for now. But we do have, again, outdoor activities going on. No sign of any frost coming up, so if you have plants outside, once again, a little chilly at night, and I'm a little worried about my avocado trees, but they should do okay here. Chances of rain Wednesday, again on Friday, and that could be a problem for Friday night football. And again, looking for the potential of some showers Friday night for whatever's going on outdoors. That could be a potential problem right there. Rick Bircher, yep, sorry, can't wait until the video's off the air. That's how we roll. That's who we are. Besides, this is a family-rated show, so you know we'll keep things as straight-laced as if at all possible. Can't guarantee anything though. Numbers back in the lower to mid-60s toward next week, and this is where we start getting into Thanksgiving travel. So starting on Monday and going for the next several days afterwards from what it's looking like right now, let's go ahead and bring up the supercast here so we can give you an idea as to what's going on. Now, in the next couple of days, again, the chances of rain toward about Wednesday, not looking great. Some, maybe, but that's about it. Friday, Brian Armstrong and Rick Nyman in the News 12 Sports Department. Really hate to give this forecast again, but right about Friday night football time, that is where we could be looking at the potential for some problems with outdoor activities, including the football schedule. So hopefully nothing else. We're not seeing any signs of severe weather anytime soon, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. Storm system rolling off the California coast, and this one coming over the Rockies and moving into the Plain States. This one could have a little more oomph to it, depending on what happens. So for right now, starting off Monday, at least the first storm system that we see making its way on through, this is where we could pick up a decent amount of rain from the Great Lakes down to the Gulf Coast. This is where we could be looking at the potential of more showers. And keep in mind, that's Monday next into around Wednesday. So right before we hit Thanksgiving on what is one of the busiest travel days of the year, could be the potential of some rain making for wet roadways from the Mississippi all the way over to parts of the Appalachians and the Blue Ridge. Might be seeing some slowdowns there. Not too sure what a lot of rain's going to do to Atlanta at the airport, and Chicago looks like that'll be clear, but still looking at the potential for some more problems out there when it comes to anything involving rainfall. So please watch out and be adaptable with your travel schedule. Again, we'll be watching that with a decent amount of interest. Now, going forward just a little bit more, better potential of colder air behind this system. Hang on a second. My cursor is being finicky. There we go. Okay, so into Thursday, cooler air coming on down from the north and west. Higher elevations could pick up some white stuff, maybe. Doesn't look like a lot going on because of that dry slot right there. It looks like there's not going to be too much, but could be some snow for New England, the Great Lakes, and up into parts of areas around the upper Midwest. So that could be a bit of an issue. But for Thursday, for the most part, it looks like we're going to have some pretty good amounts of quiet, dry weather as high pressure sets in from the west. But I would still be very careful backing this up a little bit. Tuesday into Wednesday next week. Again, that's next week, not this week, but that is where we start to see the potential of some more travel problems out there. We'll keep you advised on this, but wherever you happen to be traveling, definitely want to keep a little bit of patience involved and keep an eye on what's going on with the weather and be adaptable to any changes that do come your direction. So again, that could be a bit of a situation out there. We'll continue to watch that. No severe weather at this point, so some definite good news on that. This is important at this time of the year to be ready for that. This information from the National Weather Service and from excuse me, the tornado database at Mississippi State University. This is a searchable database, and if you'd like to see more about this for your particular county in wherever you happen to live, tornado information kept for the last century at least plus in many locations, and this data is for Hamilton County and Chattanooga specifically. Just wanted to give this again, just around the area. If you want to search your own county, you can. What this shows is the amount of tornadoes monthly between 1883 and so far this year. And the main portion of everything, you can see very easily where that falls. Between March and April, that is our prime severe weather season for tornadoes around this area. 135 in April in those particular years, 1883 to 2023. Now, we don't get too much, again, once you head into anything past Memorial Day through about Labor Day, those are the summer doldrums. They can happen, but they don't happen a lot. So it is a nice time to kind of practice and prepare and get ready for things. And now we're getting into that time frame to where we're seeing just a bit of a peak. It's not much, but it is noticeable that we do get the potential of more tornadoes here. It really is a big uptick from September into around October and November, really dropping down around December. But this is the time of the year that we can have those severe weather threats going on. And that's why I try to make certain at this point of the time of the year that everybody's paying attention to what's going on with Skywarn. It is a volunteer group. National Weather Service meteorologists teach you what you need to know to be safe from severe weather, how to look for it, what to look on radar, the signs and characteristics on radar, what to look as storms are heading in your direction. Most importantly, they teach you what to call back, what information to send to the National Weather Service. You don't have to be an amateur radio operator. You don't have to be law enforcement. You don't have to be an EMT. You can be anybody at home, even a student, anybody I've seen kids as young as maybe third or fourth grade taking these meetings, and I would really highly recommend them for anybody who would like to catch up on severe weather safety. The next one coming up, the News 12 viewing area is covered over by 4 different National Weather Service jurisdictions: Nashville, Morristown, back into Atlanta, and Huntsville. So far, the only ones we have available, according to what the information we have, is from Morristown, National Weather Service Huntsville, Nashville, and Peachtree City in Atlanta are not issuing any current News 12 viewing area county meetings. Now, if they do, we'll let you know about that, so stay tuned on there. But coming up this Thursday, December 7th, a little less than a month away, this is going to be your opportunity if you live in McMinn County in Athens, Tennessee, at the county courthouse on East Madison Avenue. This is going to be your opportunity to take the local Skywarn training session. These meetings last about an hour, hour and a half, depending on how many questions are asked and answered. They usually take a break in between all of that. And if you'd like to know more, you can check out the website at weather.gov/MRX. That's the 3-letter identifier for the National Weather Service in Morristown. Now, that is, again, the so far only one coming up for this particular time frame. We are going to be seeing more of them in the near future, especially as we get into that spring severe weather season, and that is where the next one comes up. If you're in Chattanooga and in Hamilton County, your meeting is next year, coming up Friday, February 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern at CHI Memorial Hospital on DeSales Avenue. Again, these meetings are totally free to attend. They're one of the best spent ways of using your tax dollars and my tax dollars to help everybody stay safe. But the National Weather Service for both Athens, Tennessee and Chattanooga meetings request politely that you register for a seat to make certain that they have enough space for everybody. They don't want to turn anybody away, so they'd like to know in advance how many people are coming. So instead of just showing up, please go to the website and register. Very simple, very quick thing to do. So all you have to do is get things taken care of there. And of course, we'll have more coming up. And also don't forget that now, when nothing is going on, is the perfect time to program your weather radio. So please go to wdef.com/weather and get more details as to what may be coming your way. Programming your weather radio is easy. It's a great way to make certain that you've got everything ready to go and that you're not constantly alerted or you don't get warning overload, and that will help you stay even safer out there. So just something to think about at that time frame. All right, let's see, one more going on. Again, at this time of the year, lots of folks heading overseas or coming home from overseas, and we like to feature a nice little segment between Veterans Day and New Year's, giving people an idea as to what's going on where their loved ones or their family members cannot be back home again with everybody, because it's a long way from here, and if you're on the home front, it's nice to have a little bit of information as to what's going on. So we'll be featuring places like this: Camp Lemonnier, I hope I'm saying that correctly, Naval Expeditionary Base in Djibouti in the Horn of Africa. Temperatures just about sunrise Tuesday in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Winds west-southwest about 5 miles an hour. All this information available easily. Public information. This is not top secret data. We're not telling anybody anything that they didn't already know on the internet. So this is all readily accessible. And if you'd like to see more of these, or if you have somebody overseas at a particular location that we can feature the forecast for, let me know. If you're on Twitch, the email address is right below in the blue bar at aonek@wdef.com. And we'd love to, again, see more about what's going on so we can make that distance between you and your loved ones just a little bit less out there. All right, last but not least, Greater Chattanooga Orthodontics bus stop forecast for the morning. Chilly, could be a little breezy, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Don't forget that stop sign on the side of the bus is a real stop sign, so everybody come to a halt and wait until that bus retracts the stop sign to let everybody go through. Very much on the mild side tomorrow. Will be breezy, but temperatures will be in the mid to upper 60s, so we'll be seeing a very mild day coming up for the kids heading home from school, but I really don't think anything in the way of rainfall anytime soon there. Our Panaagua Auto Mall weather question of the day: lower level scattered fractured clouds that form ahead of a line of storms. The poll requests information was, again, the voting topics were Arcus clouds, cumulonimbus mammatus, or scud clouds. And of course, the most popular answer was Arcus clouds, which is sort of a long, stretched out crescent-shaped cloud ahead of a storm front. The actual answer, getting 28% of the vote, was scud clouds, broken up, raggedy, fast-moving clouds. If you'd like to see our next poll question, go to wdef.com/vote now, and we'll have more for you on that at that area. And you can also vote on news and sports and all sorts of other things, so stay tuned to our website for more there. That's also where we'll be posting this repeat of Weather Overtime. It'll be available at wdef.com/weather. We'll have tons more weather information there, and of course we'll have more details coming up with Chip Chapman bright and early on Tuesday morning, so stay tuned for 5 o'clock weather. More details on that. Also, you can watch live at wdef.com. That should wrap it up for tonight. Thanks to everybody for tuning in, including my beautiful and talented wife, Melissa, and also, again, for everybody else on Twitch for following along. Really appreciate everybody keeping an eye on things for weather out there. If you've got questions, email me, let me know, and we'll be glad to do what we can to fill you in as to what's happening. If we don't know the answer, we'll do our best to get it answered for you at some point in time. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, USA, North America, Earth, planet in the solar system, Milky Way galaxy, somewhere out there. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Stay tuned for much more with News 12 tonight on News at 11, and I'll be back with you on Tuesday evening. Hope you have a safe and happy night tonight, and stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online.